Stop looking at the brand name on your RO Purifier. It's a sticker. This is a $200 under-sink system. This is an $8 membrane. And because one company decided to seal that $8 part inside a proprietary housing, that membrane just became a $180 replacement job on a machine that isn't even worth $200 anymore. That is not a repair. That is a funeral. I'll show you exactly how in 2 minutes. The one part that defines everything. First, you need to understand what you actually own. Inside every RO system, regardless of brand, regardless of price, there is a membrane. A semi-permeable cylinder sits inside one of those blue or white canisters under your kitchen sink. You have probably never looked at it directly, maybe never thought about it at all. That membrane is the only component doing actual purification. The sediment pre-filter catches particles. The carbon block pulls chlorine. The post-filter polishes taste. All of that is setup work. The membrane is the engine. Standard membrane size, 11.5 inches by 1.8 inches. Industry designation, 1812 series. Fits almost every residential RO system ever made. Almost. Some brands redesigned the housing, made it proprietary, made it so a standard 1812 membrane physically cannot seat correctly in their canister. So when your membrane fails, and it will, you cannot buy an $8 aftermarket replacement. You buy their $60 proprietary cartridge from their service network on their schedule at their price. If your system doesn't take a standard 1812 membrane, you're not owning it, you're renting it. I'll show you how to check that in 60 seconds at the end. The engineering that got it right. Before I show you what the industry broke, let me show you what they got right, because it exists, and it has existed for decades. The standard 1812 membrane format has been the industry baseline since the early 1980s. 40 plus years. Same diameter, same length, same port configuration. A membrane manufactured in 1995 will seat correctly in a system built last month if the system uses the standard housing. There is no other water treatment product in any category where a 30-year-old replacement part is still compatible with a current model. None. The entire filtration assembly is 4 stages: sediment, carbon, membrane, post-filter. Each one a standard canister, each one with aftermarket options from dozens of suppliers. Membrane swap takes 15 minutes with your hands. No proprietary software, no diagnostic app, no $150 service call, just to authorize a filter change. One repair tech told me he's maintained the same customer system for 19 years. Total membrane cost across that entire period, under $60. That is what happens when engineering wins. Now let me show you what happens when marketing wins. The proprietary trap. This is where the industry falls apart. The proprietary housing system. This is what's inside most name brand RO units sold at retail right now. And it is the engineering opposite of that standard 1812 format. The membrane housing is molded as a single unit. The canister threads are non-standard. The membrane is a custom length or a custom port configuration. On a standard system, everything is replaceable. On this, nothing is interchangeable. When the membrane hits end of life, years 2 to 3 under normal use, you call the brand service line. Here's what you hear. Standard 1812 membrane, $8 to $15. Any supplier. Ships tomorrow. Their proprietary cartridge, $45 to $180. Available only through their network. Shipped on their timeline. But it gets worse. Most proprietary systems also use a sealed TDS display, a built-in meter that reads your output water quality. That meter is calibrated at the factory. It cannot be independently verified. It cannot be cross-checked. The number on that display is generated by the same company selling you the replacement membrane. That is not a water quality reading. That is a marketing display. 3 failure points. And then there are the 3 failure points nobody puts in the brochure. First, the flow restrictor. A small inline component on the drain line restricts wastewater flow to maintain membrane pressure. Costs $3 to $6. Fails in years 2 through 4 in hard water areas. When it clogs, membrane pressure drops. Rejection rate collapses. Your display still reads fine because it measures output TDS, not rejection efficiency. You are drinking under-purified water while the display tells you everything is good. Second, the check valve prevents backflow from the storage tank into the membrane. Cost $4. Fails silently. When it goes, stored water migrates backward through the membrane. Bacterial growth in the tank reaches the membrane surface. No alarm, no no indicator, nothing. Third, the storage tank bladder, a rubber diaphragm inside the pressurized tank. When it ruptures, water and air mix. Output pressure drops. Flow slows to a trickle. Most people call for a full system replacement. The bladder costs $25, but it gets worse. All three of these components, flow restrictor, check valve, tank bladder, are excluded from every standard service contract I have reviewed. 3 failure points. All cheap parts. All outside the service plan. All time to fail. Just past the warranty window. That is not coincidence. That is engineering. The brand names. Bad side. Now let me show you how they hide this behind multiple brand names. Let's start at the bottom. Express Water and Frizz Life. The sub 150 Amazon tier. Priced like starter systems. Perform like it. Common complaints. Flow rate drops within the first year. Filter housings crack at the O-ring seam. TDS display malfunctions and reads 0, regardless of actual output. Customer service directs you to a PDF. If you pay $120 for a system that needs a $90 service call in month 8, you have not saved anything. You have bought a subscription to frustration with a water faucet attached. Next, Brita and Pure undersink lines. These used to mean something. Your parents had a Brita pitcher on the counter. Pulled chlorine. Reduced lead. Simple. Honest. Effective product for what it claimed to do. But today, Brita and Pure pitcher credibility and Brita and Pure undersink RO credibility are completely different engineering conversations. Real-world membrane rejection rates run lower than labeled specs. You are buying a 40-year-old reputation attached to a system that cannot back it up. The brand names. Good side. So what can you actually buy? There are 3 systems. Consistently recommended. Number 3. iSpring RCC7, aka transparent specs. Standard 1812 membrane. Aftermarket compatible. Number 2. Waterdrop G3P800. Tankless design. No bladder. No stagnant water. On-demand purification. Number 1. SimPure Y7P-BW. Tankless. Remineralization stage. Standard 1812 compatible. Published mineral output. One system. Running 15 years. With cheap membrane replacements. Beats multiple cheap systems. With expensive servicing. The expensive system is the cheap system. That is not a slogan. That is math. Screenshot this. 3 questions. First, what membrane format does it use? Standard 1812 or proprietary? Second, is the filter indicator usage-based or calendar-based? Third, ask about rejection rate. Input versus output. If they can't answer, walk away. The rule: check the membrane format. Check the filter indicator. Ask for rejection rate. If all 3 fail, you're not buying a purifier, you're renting one.